Oliver Tree was a known alt-pop artist. At age 32, alongside an Argentinian content creator known as Gatsby, age 23, and other 3 individuals, tragically died on a helicopter crash. But there was something else to his tragic death than what mainstream media is willing to admit. Oliver Tree was born in Santa Cruz, California in 1993. His father, Jesse Nickel, and mother Christine Begin were an eccentric American family, with his parents even working as traveling circus performers. Oliver was known for being an extrovert child since his early years. He was already showing interest in music since an early age, which led him to become an artist himself later in life. At just 6 years old, in the year 1999, his inspiration being Nirvana to become a musical artist. But his major hits were when he launched his album Ugly is Beautiful in the year 2020. The reasons behind Oliver Tree making the decision to go to Antarctica was due to rumors regarding his grandfather, a man that before his passing planted on Oliver a lot of intriguing questions about what lies in Antarctica and the ice walls around it. Oliver Tree's grandfather, Jesse Louis Nickel Jr., was a man obsessed with the Operation High Jump, led by the United States on Antarctica in 1946, claiming that there were places where strange anomalies occurred, and what lies beyond the ice walls. As expected, this would plant great amount of curiosity on Oliver Tree's mind, which led him to make the decision later in his adulthood to take his chance on going to the Arctic continent. Finally, in November 2023, Oliver officially announced and made it public his trip to Antarctica to fulfill a lifelong dream. While Oliver Tree claimed to the public his intentions were for charity and climate awareness, deep down it was too suspicious, especially later due to him spending one entire year making a documentary in Antarctica. Rumors spread fast in the deeper layers of the internet, where it was known Oliver has been planning a trip there for almost 3 years, and considering that going to Antarctica requires a lot of financial leverage, a vague climate change excuse does not explain enough, at least for that time it did not. Deep internet forums argued this was a clear tactical smokescreen. Everything would prove to be so the day Oliver finally began his journey, packing up and heading to Argentina's South City. Oliver and his team, alongside music producers and other wealthy artists, crossed the Drake Passage for 2 days. The Drake Passage raised immediate suspicion by the internet community, as it's known for being dangerous and unforgiving, taking Oliver and his entire team 2 full days to cross and 2 full days to come back. Logically speaking, this makes no sense considering public information claims he was there for only a 7-day expedition. Nobody films a serious production-level documentary film with only 72 hours. There is more to this story that mainstream media isn't openly showing to the public. After Oliver and his crew arrived on the ice, the footage that is available on the internet has a clear sign that there is something going on in the expedition beyond trolling. Let's be honest, nobody spends thousands of dollars going on an expensive Antarctica expedition just to clown in front of the camera. There was something much deeper to this expedition. During the available film on YouTube, from what we see from Oliver during the documentary, there are many key features that raise the eyebrows of many skeptics. One, he mentioned forbidden topics such as encounters with UFOs and UAPs on the Arctic Ocean. Large, cylindrical-shaped technological objects far ahead what is known in terms of technology. He openly mentioned Agartha, the mythical underground city. There were also leaked pieces of the footage where Oliver is seen standing on top of ice and crust, mentioning Agartha as a real place. Before releasing his documentary, Oliver cut off his ties with Atlantic Records and moved his wealth to his own records label, Alien Boys Records. This was not coincidence. He knew very well what he was doing before releasing the documentary. He was at risk with Atlantic Records seizing his, burning down his footage and investigations. When Oliver Tree released his 369 Days on Antarctica expedition, the internet and mainstream media believed this was just more content filmed and trolling coming from Oliver. But the more they advanced through the footage, things took a turn when he openly mentioned Agartha and showed clear, unedited footage of technology that the public doesn't know about. But this does not end here. The claims of the missing footage were Oliver makes it to the Forbidden Zones and films large landmass with mountains and entire ecosystems kept away from public knowledge. Was never released, yet the motives for Oliver to travel to Antarctica were very clear after deeply studying his history. If he went there for more than a year, as he publicly announced on his interviews, the reason to spend there such long amounts of time was definitely not to troll in front of a camera. Thousands of dollars don't get spent for trolling. This leaves us with the next question. Surely Oliver, if he'd spent there such amount of time, he wanted to see what is beyond the ice wall. And it was possible he reached the Forbidden Zone. What happened to this additional footage? The straight answer to this is simple. They were burnt alongside Oliver during the accident. What we see online is just a limited version, everything we could have seen. Strange, isn't it? That just when he is about to publish the full, uncensored documentary, the accident occurs. It's too much coincidence and many people notice it. There are no coincidences here. The internet forums speculate the wealthy individuals that traveled with him managed to get pictures of the Forbidden Zones in Antarctica and spread them around, but heavy censorship methods from YouTube and every other social media platform were making sure it was never fully reached to the public. The day Oliver Tree alongside his crew mysteriously and tragically died on a helicopter accident, there were many questions in the scene, and some were too obvious that there was something else happening before their death. The helicopter they were flying in was unregistered by official records. Its registry came from a fruit trading company. The pilot of the helicopter, Oswaldo de Luca, was financially fined by National Agency of Brazil for completely refusing to open his financial books and accounting records. This already tells us that Oliver and his crew were expecting attempts on their lives and were trying to stay under the public radar. However, the story that mainstream media talks about the accident has too many red flags to be ignored. The pilot on the other helicopter was known for being an experienced veteran with decades of experience. Yet somehow that same day he decided to fly his helicopter at the same time of the day, towards the same direction Oliver and his crew were flying. Another important detail is the behavior of the pilot. Every time there is another flying craft nearby is strictly prohibited. By law, you are not allowed to fly there and much less cross its path. But this is not all of it. The biggest hole in the story was the description of what happened after the accident. After the crush, the helicopter being piloted by Charles Marcial, the ghost pilot, named as such by the most intuitive internet independent research. Due to the lack of evidence, his death was publicly announced. But the results of his helicopter after the crush were too convenient. His helicopter, unlike the one Oliver was in with his crew, it received almost no damage at all. It was found nearly intact. From pure logical sense, this is nearly impossible. Two helicopters crushing into each other at that speed. One ends completely destroyed and incinerated while the other ends up intact. This suggests a clear alteration in the main story. Why did Charles decide to take a flight from a nearby city just to go towards that location just in the same day, at the same time where Oliver Tree and his crew were passing by? And on top of that, ignoring every possible basic safety protocol that every beginner pilot is already aware of, stating that under no circumstances as a pilot, someone should pilot a helicopter towards the intersection of another. The patterns and the traces suggest a clear cover-up. And mainstream media is clearly favoring a narrative, not the truth.
Oh, that's amazing. That's the way I want to die.
Dude,
That's actually the way I want to die.